multi-millionaire.
See, that's brilliant because of the simplicity and just all that. It's all about motivation. But anyway, yeah, I saw the first time I ever saw that list of failures from Lincoln was at I was in a mall, and they had a successories store in the mall. And when you go in there, it was like 100 posters that you could buy it. Most of them were framed and all that. But anyway, there was one in there that had Lincoln with one of his good photos that he's done, and a big list. And I started reading them, and it was a list of his failures. And I thought that was very really awesome. But anyway, the point is what that Trump. First of all, he hasn't had more failures than anybody. No. He's a successful businessman.
However, he has had more failures probably than Rubio. I would imagine.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Absolutely. And does that mean we should vote for Rubio instead of Trump?
No, because I would wear those failures on my sleeve that I learned from it and became successful.
A badge of honor.
It is a badge of honor.
There you go.
Without a doubt. So this Rubio, and I started looking at the stack of stuff today and the sound bites, and I'm like, there's something missing from this.
Okay.
What's missing?
Yeah.
Cruz.
Right.
All week.
What's his problem?
He's hiding under a rock.
Did you see the breaking news that came out of P.P. Simmons again? I sent it to you.
Does it have to do with the number 2, the first line of Cruz? On number 2, Cruz, that first line with the sound bite next to it.
No, P.P. Simmons came out with another audio on YouTube asking whether or not Cruz is even a U.S. citizen.
Yeah. Okay, that's second on number 2, the second point. Yes.
It's not about natural born.
No.
Because there's just too many unknowns about the phrase natural born.
Correct.
At the end of the day, they're going to err on the side of caution and say that natural born just means that you haven't been naturalized. You were born as a citizen. Even though I don't think that the founding fathers meant that. But I don't think, and that's up for debate.
But he was born a citizen. A Canadian citizen.
Well, that's true. That is a fact. Whether or not you want to debate whether he's an American citizen, that's neither here nor there. But he's Canadian flat citizen. Out, he's definitely born a Canadian citizen. What P.P. Simmons brought up this week, he said, all right, let's put natural born to the side, and also don't take this as an attack on Cruz. We got a negative review on Facebook again. Did you see?
I saw that. I loved it.
Well, I clicked on her name. Yeah, I clicked on her name, and she's got banners of Cruz all over the place. And here's the thing:
I read your comment, so I clicked her name, and I saw the flames of Cruz.
Oh, so here's the thing: for those of you who may be a Cruz supporter out there listening,
we love you.
Yeah,
we do.
We love you. We love Cruz, and we would. It would be nothing but just happiness out of me if he were to become president, because I know what he thinks and what he believes and what he wants to do as president. And number 2, if he was eligible, I would love that.
Right, and if he spent 8 years, 2 terms as president, and did everything he says he wants to do.
Oh, we'd be so happy.
Just like Obama has done everything he says he wants to do and more.
Very successful.
Okay.
For communists. Yeah.
Right. Cruz would probably be up there as probably one of the greatest presidents of all time.
One of the greatest for sure. Maybe not quite. Maybe just short of
top 5 easily. Top 5.
Oh, I would think top 3.
Okay.
Between Coolidge, Reagan, and Cruz. I mean, he's got to be right there.
Right.
So that being said, don't think 2 things. Number 1, don't think that we hate him or we'd rather him go away. And number 2, don't think for a millisecond that if he ends up somehow winning this primary that he's so desperately far behind on, that we aren't going to be singing the praises of voting for him.
Oh, I will have bumper stick Cruz.
Absolutely. There'll be yard signs. I'll campaign for him.
I'll actually put a flame in my front yard.
What is that supposed to
be?
An
eternal Cruz flame.
Is that what?
Well, because his name has a flame.
Oh, kind of like Herman Cain. Herman Cain had the flame.
Or was that flame too?
Either that or maybe it was McCain. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
No, McCain had the sickle.
What? What are we talking about? The hammer? What?
No. It wasn't the sickle. Sorry, it was just the hammer.
Just the hammer.
Just the hammer. He was halfway.
But it was limp.
Yeah,
it was a rubber hammer. It was like the clowns use it. They hit each other in the head, and it goes burp. It makes like a honking sound when you hit somebody.
Yeah.
That. So anyway.
Okay, P.P. Simmons.
Yeah, he said, okay, so here's the thing. When there's this misconception that when you're born to a single parent that is a U.S. citizen, that you're automatically a citizen. But that's not true if the child is born on foreign soil and some other things have to be met for you to not be a citizen.
Right.
So what you do, this is what you have to do if you are a U.S. citizen, you're living in a foreign country, which she was.
Not visiting, not vacationing.
She was living there.
She worked for that company. She set up house, set up shop. They were living there for a long time.
And her husband was not a U.S. citizen because he was Cuban.
And she rescued him from prison.
But that's neither here nor there.
All right.
See, now you're going to get yelled at by the Cruz supporters. You are. All right,
I hit the brakes. All right, I'm back on track.
We're off the e-brake. We're back on track. So Cruz has a Cuban father, not an American citizen, but the mother was an American citizen. So everybody's like, that's it. That's all she wrote. That's all we got. But it's flat out not true. This is a fact. This is not up for debate, and everybody can look this up. You are not necessarily a U.S. citizen yet. What you have to do, and this is a requirement, if your child is born to you and you're a U.S. citizen on foreign soil, you have to go to the American consulate of that country.
Correct.
And you have to say, I want my child to be a U.S. citizen. He was just born. And then they'll say, no problem. Here's the paperwork. Fill this thing out, and now he'll be a U.S. citizen. Now, every country's different, but in Canada, he was automatically a Canadian citizen, automatically.
Correct.
So in that case, he would have been dual citizenship.
Correct.
If she had gone to the consulate. Now, here's the thing. She at one time said that they filled out paperwork. However, they're now saying that the paperwork she filled out, this is all technicalities. They're saying that, no, you did not complete Who's saying that?
Process.
Who said that?
Articles I was reading.
Okay,
she didn't complete the process.
So here's what P.P. Simmons is saying. Prove that you did the proper paperwork to have him be a U.S. citizen when he was born.
She didn't.
Well, they're saying, oh, no, they did, but we don't have to prove it because nobody's asking for it. I know you're asking for it, but you know what? I don't have to answer to you. Oh,
if we're the people and we're asking for it, well, I mean, Obama set the precedent. The precedent.
He is the president of the United States.
Right,
he's the president. Oh, my gosh. Copyright.
With a tear just draining out my eye.
Oh, wow. Copyright Smith Radio. Well, the president of the United States.
So this week.
No, but so.
Along with that, this week there's an article that came out that said Circuit Court of Cook County in Chicago has agreed to hear the lawsuit on Senator.
Yeah, we broke that last week. Well, here's the problem. This is where it gets ugly.
Okay.
If I were Cruz and not Cruz supporters, I know you're going to freak out on me right now, and you're going to leave all kinds of negative reviews on Facebook, like that one.
Don't do it because we love you.
Yeah. So he needs to make a deal with somebody to say, listen, if I drop out of this race right now, will you promise to drop this so I don't get removed as a senator? He can't be a senator.
Really?
If it's shown that he's not a U.S. citizen? Oh, that actually is a win for the Democrats if they could replace him with a Democrat.
Because you know they would.
And even if they don't replace him with the Democrat, no Republican is going to be as constitutionally sound as Cruz. We need him in the Senate. It's never going to be let go by the Democrats that he may, in fact, not be a U.S. citizen at all. Forget about natural born. He may not. It's possible. I would love, and here's the last thing P.P. Simmons said. If he has proof that his mother did the legal thing that you're supposed to do to make your son a president, or a citizen, why wouldn't he? You're running for president. Why would you say, well, you know what? We got it, but we don't need to show you. Why wouldn't you do that? Show it and stop this madness.
Because this is not, you know how they say the only bad publicity is none? Well, this doesn't fall in that category. This is bad. Bad, real bad. So I just pulled up Article 1, Section 3 of the Constitution. Sets 3 qualifications for senators. 1, they must be 30 years old at least. 3, they must be an inhabitant of the state that they seek to represent. And 2, they must have been citizens of the United States for at least the last 9 years.
And if his mother never did the paperwork,
they did it in 2014. He claimed American citizenship in 2014.
What do you mean he claimed?
He's like,
no. The story I heard, you broke this to me. You said that in 2014 he renounced his Canadian citizenship.
Right. So
did he also?
I'm a citizen.
He just announced it.
Right.
Did he raise his right hand? And I believe that he would. I think he would be a great president. I think he loves the United States. But
get rid of this.
But there's a reason why the founders put all these things in the Constitution. And let me tell you something. It's hypocritical for somebody to sit there and be one of those constitutionalists that follow the letter of the Constitution and then poo-poo this away. Be like, never mind.
Because of who he is and what he has stood for all these years.
Yeah. You know what? Put your money where your mouth is and resign.
Constitutional.
I don't want him to.
No.
I think he's a great asset for constitutionalism, for him to be in the power that he's in. But if he doesn't figure this out really quick, not only does he lose the presidency, but he loses his seat in the Senate.
Right.
And we need him there.
Yeah. Something else that came out this week on...
Oh, I want to wrap this up with one really quick thing. If you are a Cruz supporter...
Die hard. Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Which, that's fine.
Because I like Kool-Aid, too.
The only issue I have with Cruz, the only one, is that he may not be eligible. That's my only issue.
Okay, what about this issue?
Well, hold on. Before I get there, I just want to say to all Cruz supporters, for you to sit there and give us, when you give somebody a negative review to their business, you are telling people do not patronize that business. And when you put a negative review on this show, what you're doing is you're telling anybody what. Now, if they're a Democrat, they're just going to not like it anyway. It'll be a badge of honor,
right,
for a Democrat, communist, whatever, to put a negative review on us. But for you to sit there and claim that you like Cruz and you support Cruz and you hate Trump because we're all about the Constitution, we're all about real conservatism, and that's why we support Cruz. And you've listened to this show to know what we're all about the constitutionalism, about the conservatism, about free market capitalism, and you leave a negative review. You know what that tells me? That tells me that you are putting the cult of one personality, in this particular case, Ted Cruz, you're putting your cult of the personality of Cruz above the furtherance of constitution or of conservatism, which is what we do here.
Right.
If you can't support that we're pushing conservatism and you're going to go ahead and put us a negative review on us because we're not supporting your candidate who may not even be eligible, I would love for him to prove that he's eligible. If he does, then maybe I'll start singing the praises of him. But why would I go down that road?
Right.
We've been down that road with Obama. He's a fox in a hen house. And you're going to sit there and tell me that it's okay for Obama to be president when he's clearly not eligible in my mind. Maybe other people say there's gray areas. Maybe he is eligible, whatever. There's an argument to be made there. But sit there and say that we shouldn't have opposed what he's all about when he may not be eligible because your boy, Cruz, should be president, even though he may not be eligible, and to sit there and give us a negative review and say that we're unprofessional, whatever.
She said we're spreading false political information